Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Welcome back to the lab. Welcome back to the lab that exists like an umbrella-style laboratory at the bottom of the rabbit hole. It is Rainbird back once again, and Rainbird creeps ever closer to his inevitable conclusion, and that inevitable conclusion is something that is too light for its own good. We definitely experienced that in the intermediate phase when we got down to 1888. I can tell you right now, most of what we're going to talk about right now is numbers. This is the 2074 phase, and if you will recall, prior to the 1880, so we're 2074 today, 1888, and the one before that. The one before that was 2086. Now, the numbers at 2086 were as good as we were going to see. Like, the CG was at 62 millimeters. We've put weight back on. We have not gotten the CG down to 62 millimeters. Now I'm starting to question, I don't know, everything. Because I put weight back on. Weight was replaced. Weight was replaced only on the axles. The initial weight shift was because looking at Scarlett after she completed her run in the Crawlympics, I thought the brass tubes aren't working. So that was when I found out that based on the stock gear, brass tubes are a scam. Well, not a scam, but like, unless you're building your own axles from scratch, don't bother to put brass axle tubes on. The increase in weight is about 3 grams per tube. But Rainbird doesn't care if his axle tubes are brass. Scarlett looks a lot better with her axle tubes being black. So she's got black axle tubes, and he picked up a couple of grams that way. We then changed out the one link mount to brass. We changed out the center pumpkin to brass and the C-hubs to brass. And the thing is, they do not add a ton of weight. We were at 1888. We're sitting at 2074. So that's 180 grams and change. Mostly brought about, there's 6 grams there. So the rest is all on the front axle. The only thing we really have to discuss here is what went on in the front axle. The front axle removed from the vehicle, so no servo tray, shocks not attached, just the loose axle, was 592 grams. The servo tray and servo weigh an additional 159 grams. So we're sitting right in the neighborhood of 750 grams for just the front axle on its own. Just the front axle assembly. 750 grams out of a vehicle that weighs 2,074 grams. We'll call it 750. Wait, no, we can do the math. 592 plus 159 is 751. I guess mentally eyeballing it was pretty close. 751 divided by 2074. 36% of the vehicle's weight is the front axle alone. So, our unsprung ratio is certainly 50%. It has to be. I don't see how it could not be. In terms of other changes, I believe I moved the front shocks down one hole and the rear shocks down one hole. Now, we can in the future get into messing around with link mount positions, because as we knew when we were in 2086 phase and we went through different hole mount positions, it really affects where the CG sits. But it should be popping up over here in the corner. Because the numbers we got were so good, let's first discuss the disparity between the RC scale system and the 4 kitchen scales that I use for corner balancing. 1 gram, 2074 is what I got off the kitchen scales, 2073 off the scale system, and the margin of error between axle corners. Okay, let me talk to you about this. So when we weighed at level, the kitchen scales got 663, 663. The little scales got 665, 659. So 1324 and 1326. So a 2 gram differential and no more of a gap than 6 grams, which is well less than a quarter of an ounce. Rear on the scaling system got 373 and 376, and the kitchen scales got 375 and 373. So there's where the grams throw around. 64-36 weight distribution. The cross is 50-50 and near approximately as possible to being a perfect 50-50. I haven't done it yet. It'll be, we'll have the card up, but we will find out how close we got when we do all the math. 1038 divided by 2074. That already in my head sounds pretty close. 50.04% cross. The numbers are, I mean, we're 2 grams out. That's how you get 0.04%. Now, the CG is sitting at 3.4 inches, which is 86 millimeters. So 86 millimeters is literally right here. Now imagine this is sitting on flat ground. The top of that heatsink is the CG. So the CG is pretty much cutting through about the bottom third of the motor. And you got to remember, CG measurement comes by raising one end and determining where the CG is. So first we find the fore to aft measurement where the pivot point of the vehicle is, right? That pivot point is going to slide up and down on the axis as one end is raised and as the other end is raised. Doing this takes an extraordinary amount of force because it's so, all the weight is right there. We might not have enough weight back there. We might not have enough weight back there. But I'm pretty comfortable with 64-36. I'm very comfortable with the cross weights and the corner balances. It is as close to perfect as I think one could get. So, what we're here to find out on the rocks is how does that translate? Does the pure 62 millimeter down, and here's the thing. I said that the do not exceed was 2,200 grams. We can always change, go to a different tire. We can always go to a different, to a different wheel. We can always go back to, they should still be mounted right here. We can always throw those back on and then move those bead locks to the back. That'll add, it adds almost 100 grams. So that would get us just under the 2,200. Our unsprung ratio is already super high. So the real thing that we're going to find out here on the rocks now is very close. 2086 versus 2074. But the 2074 today, all of the weight, like nearly 200 grams, has been redistributed into the unsprung. Our sprung weight for the configuration is absolutely minimized. If we were to go to some sort of different gearbox that doesn't incorporate an FMM, because a singular gearbox like an OD3 or one of those little Amazon jobbies, that's going to pull weight away and get weight down. But power distribution wise, we are very nearly perfect. 30% in the creeper case. It's got the 833 underdrive up front to get us to 19.4% UD net. It has this nice, slow, what kind of creep can we get? Is it a 9 creep? Yeah. So 9% throttle. I mean, you just watch the label go by on the motor. Actually, it'd be easier to watch the label on the motor go by if we do that. It's really, really super smooth. It is super smooth. All of the noise comes from the hot dog bun of a body. I mean, in terms of quietudes, it's one of the quietest guys out here. And the 10 Pro doesn't explicitly start off as something that's quiet. So the Rainbird is and forever will be the Rainbird. He is definitely not what he began as. But, I purchased a brass diff cover The sole remaining piece of I'm just going to leave that on cruise control. The sole remaining piece of plastic on the front axle, I mean, aside from rod ends, is the diff cover, because the brass diff cover is incredibly heavy. This plastic diff cover weighs 4 grams, and I think the brass one is like 58. I was like, it seems like too much. We're really messing with the ratio now. Whee! I am reasonably confident that the 2074 performance is going to be better than the 2088 performance. What I'm 2074, 2086 performance. It's definitely, I have no doubts in my mind that it's going to be better than the 1888 performance. Because in 1888, I think it was pretty clearly exhibited that we had removed too much weight. Also indiscriminately. So the only worry here is that sprung to unsprung is A, good, but not great. Like, it's not blow me away great. I want to see this do the things, particularly as in it came from the workbench 43. We stumbled into something that could easily be made lighter than this, but with a much worse sprung to unsprung ratio. Much more sprung weight. So, nothing to do but leave it to our good buddies, the Rocks, to take us out there and show us what we hath wrought. And I don't know, I like the brass tubes. Green and brass, I mean, come on, it's verdigris, man. Green and brass go together, and I think I might have accidentally, this is very verdigris, is it not? Like, we've incidentally landed there. And for those of you running a 10 Pro body, I recommend the Corvair push. You just grab the nose of your body and give it a little, just give it a little squeeze. I don't know. I'm not saying that the 10 Pro body is growing on me. I'm saying that it's kind of in the same category as the J-Concept Stage Killer, where the more you cut off of it, the better it looks. I am still contemplating, depending on what I can do with the weight, if I can find, I've got a little scrap of carbon left that's like 16th inch, like 1.5 millimeter carbon. If I can find the 1.5 millimeter carbon, I might remake these and scooch them up. I know, CG-wise. Scooch them up just a hair higher so that when we put the body on, because I cut the body, this is on me, because I cut the body up to get the little hoops up, what happens is the body will kind of creep up like that. So it's a cosmetics thing. I've tried just bending these. It doesn't really work. You can't bend those the way you can bend the body. Rainbird is and will potentially forever be the lightest weight thing here in the canyon. He is a proper lightweight, built to be a lightweight. And yeah, we're back over a kilo. Sounds like he's running on a turbine. But we are over a kilo by choice. You remove the weight so you can put the weight back on where you want it. And yeah, finding inserts that are soft enough and springs that are soft enough really gets to be a problem when you get down there into that kilo area. So, the Rocks are the grand determiner. Did we make it better? Did we make it worse? Did I waste my time? Did I waste your time? Is everyone's time been wasted? The Rocks and he will help us determine that. So I sit already too late in the morning, just absolutely geared for disappointment because my expectations are way too high. We've made a canyon change. He's been through like 4 of them where we make a bunch of changes. And I mean, I don't want to say this is it, but this is kind of it, right? Like, if it turns out that we've messed it up, what is the route back? How do we get back to from whence we came? If the 2086 turns out to be as good as yet, wait. So, I hope it rustled the microphone because that was a sigh of relief. Okay, now What is the descent gonna look like with all that weight in the front? Okay, we don't want to pull off throttle. Right here, big drop, big drop. Okay, yeah. You got to be a little more careful on the descent. Yes. How about right through here? Oh, using the skinniness. Oh, just with authority. We got to get into some spots where we can reset to bottom. We'll try that again. That's 2 for 2 on the landings to wheels. This thing, well, there's no sprung weight. I can't, I mean, I can see in a very small number, like, I had legitimately thought about pulling out the transfer case, taking the gears out, getting my good friends the Cobalt, and seeing if I can drill. Can I make my own lightened gears, basically? Which is insane. It would take off a couple grams. Okay, we'll do the other descent down this way. Honestly, the thing looks like it rides so high. I don't know if my brain has just been reset. This is going to be a drop here. Okay, so we have reintroduced a definitely acceptable amount of stability, particularly compared to the 1888. Like right there. It's just the thing that remains is the thing that's in the DNA of the lightweight, which is when it doesn't go, it's gone. I never even felt that rear end start to swap. But I've got a bunch of the forward drive back. I'm not mad about that at all. Although, here's my primary worry. That it was all going to be wrong. It was all going to have gone bad. But it's definitely not that. The worry now is, what do we do? What do we do? The foam, the stock foam, wiggle it, wiggle it. That might be one of the hardest spots to actually hit through that we've got. The stock foam in the rear feels really close to right. Trying to use a moderate. Oh, it just bounces back. All right, well, okay. We're trending towards lunacy because I can't see. We're using camera 2 for this. Maybe go over to where camera 2 is? All right, I don't think I can extricate from this, but oh. And what I need to do is hook further out this way, get into that little hollow, come around that edge, try to get the skid off. Maximum effort. There it is. I just needed that hop. Little hop frog. It does indeed, to a completely unsurprising degree, it really does help when you can see what you're doing. Okay, this is a tumbler for sure. Okay, using this cut, we're gonna try to kind of slide our way down right here. You know what I think might be the key? All right, we're gonna try it. We're gonna go about, we'll try 14. Okay, we got to get back up again. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's try the bypass line here. I'm waiting for that front end to unload. The front end is not unloading. There are definitely moments where it feels like the front foam is too firm. But then there are moments where you go, I don't know, that's pretty close. Okay, so we want to get right up to about here. Let me test it on the flat. A little too low, right about. Let's try a 19. Okay. So when I say let's try a 19, I am of course talking about cruise control. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into the same spot and then we're going to hit a 19 on the cruise control. And we got mired. Nope. I'm watching the rear unloading very, very slowly, but it looks like it might catch. It's Mount Tumbledore for a reason. Come across this way. Can we do the wrap? Just got to pull that rear over. Okay, that is out onto the trays, not sliders. I mean, we're doing some gymnastics here. Ooh-wee. Boy, he is a two wheels guy. Again, I'm trying to stay in this. I want to see, are we gonna flop the front end? No, we are absolutely not gonna flop the front end. Oh my. Belly is long. I mean, we didn't alter that at all. We just cloned the skid. So, could we benefit from more kick for better breakover? Could we benefit from the skid forward a little bit? I mean, yeah. But then we're changing the DNA. We're building something else. I still, in my own warp view, numerous. Anytime this guy is in the thumbnail, I know dislikes are coming. 100%. And I don't know why. I've had such a great time working on this, and I'm not a huge fan of axial geometry or axial shocks or axial gearboxes or a lot of things axial. And I've been having a really good time building this one and pulling weight off and putting weight back on. And kind of finding out what works and what doesn't. This is going to be there's a drop. We're going to get to that little point, and unless I've got a rear tire hooked, we're going to do that. So we get next to no unloading on vertical. The big bores are absolutely doing the thing. I'm asking myself, do I want more travel? Do I want more droop? Do I want more down travel? Do I want less or more up travel? I don't know. When you get into these questions, the counter question is always coming of why? Oh, no lift at all. The question is why are you messing with it? What are you trying to get that you're not getting now? And I'm not sure if there's anything I'm not getting now. Yeah, that was really stable in the front. Hyper stable in the front. And I mean, not surprisingly, it's a 750 gram front axle. He really likes the bump. I think we can get through there. Slithery. The Rainbird has got some fence lizard DNA in him, because he went right through there. Yeah, okay. As I've said, and I think every installment that's had this guy in it, there's a learning curve here. It is one of these things is not like the others. You come out here on something 2,500, 26, 2,800 grams. You compare that to 2,000, and it's not even that he's 2,000.
It's not about the fact that he's 2074. It's that about we've removed virtually all of the sprung weight that we can. I mean, we could get weird. We could fundamentally change the DNA of him and get weird. Go to a box like an OD3 or one of those super lightweight Amazon boxes, which would mess up our underdrive overdrive. We'd have to re-gear the axles, but doing that would remove the front motor mount, which means we could build an extension plate that comes off of the servo tray, put all the electronics on that, put the battery on that, go EOA everything on axle, drop the sprung weight even more, but we're already firmly in the neighborhood of the inserts are single stage foams and they are acting in many instances too firm. The springs are as light as we've got, and if we take away any more weight, like what are we going to go to? 0.4 pounds per inch. What is softer than that? It also, it's kind of, there's a point in tuning where it might not be the perfect thing, but it's the thing that is cooperative. Will his setup change as my skill set adapts to lightweight? I mean, I'm definitely not ruling it out. Look how flat that rear axle is staying, or was, because we need to hug a little tighter over there. Can we actually, could we? Oh, I thought about it too late. Okay. Can I come across right here and get that rear? Yeah, maybe I can. Getting the rear up onto that ledge might be the thing. It's just finding the spot where the axle is going to clear, stay as far right as we can. Now, if I can get that rear tire to cheat up on there. Okay, I feel like we're right at the tip point right there. Will the axle, there's a nice set down there. Will the axle, I feel like he's far enough over. There was a, did you see it? Did you see it? I felt it like he hip checked himself. Just the middle, like at the waist somehow. He just pivoted, just dropped a little. And obviously, as has been mentioned, you can't catch it. What's nice about this thing is that, this is the easy way, which means I'm probably going to hit low side. There it was. There it was. We kind of bounced off the golf ball, the low side golf ball there. Okay, can I pull up there? Yeah, forward drive is dramatically improved over the 1888. What a difference that front axle weight makes. But I'm asking a real lot of that to pull over like that. So this here, all right. Canyon change upon canyon change aside, I don't think this is a setup issue. I don't think this is an equipment issue. I think this is a skills issue. I think residing within him is the ability to clear these gates. And I just don't know how to do it. Right there. That unload. I feel like at that point, we're not even halfway through the gate. I feel like at that point, I've already doomed myself. There's that little slip. Now we are all the way on the sidewall of the front tire. There it is. If you're gonna flop it in the exact same way, what are we doing? We're just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So much as I'm sure people would love me to watch me just try the same things over and over again with the exact same result, we're gonna bounce around a little. There's a big cobby-webby. That drive right there, right up until the point where, so I'm sliding between links right there on that point. Yeah. Right up until that point, everything looked amazing. Look, that pull out of the bucket here. Look at this. That is a thing. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. Okay, the ball rolled all the way to me, so. Might as well get them both. He definitely goes to wheels a lot. This Rainbird in his configuration, which is like near final, I would say it's going to be tuning. We as far as like component changes, when he'll get his winter shoes and he'll get to try S5s, we'll see what that, XHX pins, we'll see what that looks like. But like motor, servo, ESC, radio, all that stuff, I think it's set. The ground contact stuff is up in the air. It's going to be hard to find anything in that same sort of low weight. I can also offer, we love to offer an excuse for in exchange for lack of skill. I'm having to mostly drive one-handed. We are full-blown natto clock right now, and the overnight low was around 80 degrees again, so the mosquitoes and gnats are, I feel like I'm in the jungle. Looks like the desert, feels like the jungle. Wow, 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 wow. What is stuck? What am I sticking? Something on the front axle. No, we're already too far over. That's if I have a strength, I mean, aside from advanced spatial reasoning, I can tell where something's going to fit. I can tell if I'm going to fail a gate before I'm even into it. Like, this is the best sort of entry I've got here, but we have to keep that, we got to keep that pumpkin off of right there. Okay, now will that pull and not pivot? No, we've failed it again. Might as well just knock it off. Go get the white one now. There we go. If the objective here was to knock all the balls down, nobody touches me. I am the best at this. So on the one hand, I think crisis averted. On the other hand, new, more existential crisis unlocked. Achievement, if you will, which is I'm outside my skill set. Now, if we're just doing the stuff, put me back in the normal stuff. Yeah, I got this. Put me in the confines of a tire test protocol. Even if we're talking this rig. Boy, that lightweight really pulls through right there. I can do the things. I can do the things. I have confidence that I can do the things. Little one-wheel action there. Oh yeah, the drive is back with authority. And he should be able to glide. So we get into Death Stranding over here. So skinny, so light. This is an axle snapper's paradise right here. If you come in here too heavy, too hot and too heavy. Look at that. Yeah, nope, we need a little more, a little more. It's rough trade over here. Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. Yeah, there is definitely, I mean, there are definite advantages. There is a maneuverability. And I think I got into it a little bit in the last installment, and I'd like to reiterate again, which is getting something really lightweight does not make it easier to drive. Does it make it more capable? Yes. Does it make it more finicky, fidgety, just odd at times? Yeah. I can't predict what it's always going to do. I can't, because we've lost gravity. Gravity is no longer our friend. We're no longer working in concert with it. If your rig weighs 7.5 pounds, gravity's helping out a lot up until it isn't. But the transition between helping out a lot and helping out not is quite, in some builds and rigs, is very visible. It is immediately noticeable. You're like, oh, that's going to snap out. I can tell when a rig like Argentum the Phoenix or Daphne the Sport or anyone like that, I can tell long before. I'm like, that passenger rear is going to lift and we're going to overload, and we're probably not going to be able to get that crossweight transferred enough. So that's going to pull the passenger front into the air, and we're going to roll out. And I can tell this 5-10 seconds before it happens, like I have an ESP for rollouts. This thing, no. It's there. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Okay, no. We got to wrap it up. I am sitting in a cloud of mosquitoes, an actual physical cloud of mosquitoes. I am, wait. They're so big that when I hit them, you don't even get the rewarding splat. Their body falls to the ground. Okay, I'm not just slapping myself here. Every time you hear the whack, I've killed one. I'm building a little pile. Thankfully, they're the ones that only bite you on the legs, otherwise they would be all over me. All right, so Rainbird and I, oh, that was a good one. There's a big blood splat on my foot. Rainbird and I, thank you so much for watching. That'll learn me not to charge the battery before I go to bed. I didn't want to leave it on the charger, you know? So I forgot, and you have to charge that tiny battery at 0.5 amps. So it takes like 45 minutes to charge it, even though it's microscopic. We ended up where we ended up. It's too hot. It's too full of bugs. Can I drive this upside down? Oh, I mean, there's definitely something to it, but overall, wait, hold on. Wait. It's mostly a pain. Lightweight is a bit of a pain. You got to be ready for it. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next one. In the meantime, please, one and all, do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We're running out of file time on this one. We will see you in the next one. The mosquitoes are all over me. Have a good one, everybody.